Crypto.com CrowCoin holders. We're going to be talking about CrowCoin versus Bitcoin and where I think we're going to be head here. So without further ado, welcome back to the Crypto Report. I'm Blacksea. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel right now. Anything I say is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Let's hop into it. All right, guys, I want to start off here on Twitter. Follow me at 333Blacksea. I say, my CrowCoin holders, I think a little bit more pain is incoming for the Crow fam, but I do not believe Crypto.com is going to go anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, so I like to realize and zoom out here because in the short term, things can get bad. We could sell off. What if the top is in for crypto? Do I think that that's for sure a thing? I think it's way too soon to be saying that. But if it is, what are the bullish outlooks, right? And in my opinion, I think that Crypto.com has solidified themselves as a household name in the crypto industry. And I think bull market, bear market, they're going to be around. And that's kind of my overarching opinion on CrowCoin and Crypto.com. But in the short term, if you look at CrowCoin here, the daily time frame looks a little bit weak. Now, I will say there's a lot of contradictory price. I mean, I guess you could say I don't want to say contradicting price action, but Market Cipher shows green dot on volume, usually indicating a bottom signal. We're seeing 1, 2, right? But when I look at this on the daily with this massive wick, it looks like it's sloping over, and it looks like it wants to break below 15 cents. And it looks like it probably will in the short term. Now, how am I capitalizing on this? On the short term, I'm sitting on my hands, guys. But if we maintain 15 cents on the daily time frame, let's look at the 4-hour too as well. Yeah, if we maintain the 15-cent price level on the daily time frame, I am looking to long. And I'll open up a long on BTCC. You get a 10% bonus on deposits if you guys want to trade as well. They have up to 500x leverage. The link is in the description box or pinned comment section below. Now, it's not financial advice. I'm not telling you guys to do this. I'm telling you guys how I'm viewing CrowCoin right now and how I'm going to take advantage of this volatility. Last time I longed CrowCoin was when we reached this level. We broke below 15 cents, and we retraced back. We flipped it. We flipped the resistance as support, and that's why I said, hey, I'm going to enter along here. And that just so happened to be right before Trump announced the partnership with Crypto.com and creating a CrowCoin treasury. And I made fantastic, significant gains. Now, does that mean that that's going to happen again here? No, it doesn't. And to be honest with you guys, it looks a little bearish on the daily time frame. But I think that, the worst thing, right, that everyone says, the worst thing for me to say, short-term bearish, long-term bullish. That's how I feel about CrowCoin right now. And I think that we're probably going to come and test this level. The question is if we hold it. And if we do hold it, I view that as a sign of strength, and that's why I'm going to long if we hit 15 cents. Now, let's look at this, all right? CrowCoin's at rank 25. Down about 19% the past 7 days, down about 3.23% the past 24 hours, catching a little bit of a bid here in the past hour. I will say, guys, we'll take a look at Bitcoin here shortly because Bitcoin is showing some very, very interesting signals, if you will. And we got to be talking about that and gold and where I think Bitcoin's going to be headed here. But looking at Crow, we're still over 15 cents right now at about a $5.5 billion market cap. And I think all in all here, we probably can come down to $5 billion. I think that's on the table, especially if we come down below this level here. Do I think there's a high probability that that does happen? I think if it does, it's probably going to be a wick because I don't necessarily think that this cycle is over. I don't think that altcoin season is not going to happen. I'm staying tried and true to my thesis of Q4 being bullish for alts, and I'm expecting some volatility. I'm expecting these kinds of liquidity events. Obviously, this is a true black swan event, this huge leverage flush out to the downside. But the bullish case of that is that the longs are liquidated. The next optimal move for the market makers is to send CrowCoin higher to liquidate the shorts. So I do see that. That's why the long trade on 15 cents is a little bit more enticing to me. If we hold 15 cents, that is. Because I will be paying attention to this, because if we do break below it, I would say, hey, if you got to be looking for the breakdown and retest and rejection. And if we see that, then I expect probably a fulfillment of 9 cents on the daily time frame. But if we see something like this where you see a wick like a little bit of some trappy price action, how CRO coin and really Bitcoin's been acting throughout all of this phase of the 4-year cycle, the fourth and final phase where it's lots of trappy behavior, then I'm looking too long here, guys. But you look at the overarching market, we're at about 111,000. Bitcoin came down about like 110 today. Bitcoin dominance chopping sideways, ETH over 4K. All in all, I think that Bitcoin looks a little bit weak. It looks like it wants to spill over a bit, but as long as we hold, like the hopium for the bulls here, as long as we hold above like 110 to 100 and like 103,000, like at the bottom of this wick, really, we could even come down to like 99. As long as we hold over that, I still think bullish price structure is still intact. What I'd be concerned about is if we hang out around this area and break below 94,000. That's kind of like my line in the sand here. If we break below 94,000, I'd say, hey guys, like probably some signal that we're in for a little bit more of a prolonged sideways chop, bearish price action, which I will be buying that dip. If that does happen, I will aggressively be buying that dip. But in the meantime, what am I going to be doing? I'm going to be scalping different alts, looking to short potentially, looking to long, depending on what levels get held on CRO coin. And there's a lot of other alts too, like XRP, ETH have looked pretty good to be scalping. And really, all in all, just be trading to accumulate profit to buy more Bitcoin. But guys, that's all I got. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think that CRO coin is going to find itself breaking below 9 cents, or do you think we're going to hold this 15-cent price level? I'm very curious on what you guys have to say about that. But that's all I got. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel right now. I'll see you next one. Bye-bye.